I mean, I can never complain when it comes to baking, especially cakes. Hello and welcome to my channel, The Danish Foodaholic. My name is Luca and today I will be doing my third episode of Baking Books. So today's topic will be fairly seasonal. Let's talk about that. The bake won't be as seasonal. I probably could have done a little better with that, but I really wanted to do this bake, so that is what I did. I think without further ado, we should go into the clip. So here is me baking a banana cake. I am putting on my lovely apron and then we're getting ready to bake. And today I am making a banana cake thing, very simple, but it is just one of my favorites, so I felt like it was a good time to do it. I very quickly found out that I did not have enough chocolate, so that is why I am also chopping some walnuts and putting them in as an additional crunch. Oh yeah, let's do a little dance break. I don't know what I'm doing, but enjoy. So, the recipe is fairly simple. It is just mix everything together, melt some butter, chop some chocolate, walnuts, and then combine everything. I love simple bakes. Sometimes just the simplest things are just the best, in my opinion. So now I'm putting in the banana, because no banana cake without banana, and getting everything ready for the second cake, because one is not enough. So I'm getting all of the pans ready and, as you can see, pouring in the dough. I am actually not eating most of these. I am baking it and then I take the pieces that I need for my video and then everything else goes to my boyfriend's workplace. And apparently they really love me because I give them a lot of cake. A lot of cake and a lot of cookies. And I mean, who doesn't love that? So I'm almost done here with the second batch, and I mean, I'm excited to try this out. The bananas that I'm slicing at the end is to put at the bottom to give like a little bit extra. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, 50 minutes. There we go. You might have already noticed that I'm not in the same outfit, and that is because I filmed the baking yesterday, but I couldn't eat the cake yesterday because, long story, I'm not gonna go into it, but I couldn't eat it yesterday, so I saved some pieces and I'm gonna eat it today. I said that the topic of the day was fairly seasonal, and I want to talk about seasonal books. The reason that I want to talk about this topic is because that it is summer, it is July. A lot of people tend to go for contemporary books. And I just want to discuss that because I don't do that. I don't do that often. I do this year. Well, I've been intrigued by 3 contemporaries. Well, this is pre-filmed. I don't know if I actually finished them, but I do have 3 on my list that I'm wanting to read, so I'm pretty sure I will. But I thought it was fairly fitting to talk about this, especially also since it's not something that normally applies to me, but for some reason this year I felt like I wanted to dive into the contemporaries. So we're not only going to be discussing summer reads, we're also going to be talking about horror books in October, Christmas books in December, all those kind of things. It is more general as to talking about seasonal books and what I think of it. This smells really good, so I am gonna dive in. I have 2 pieces. I'm probably not gonna eat all of it. That was actually really good. At first, I want to talk about summer and what it is that makes people go to the fluffy romance books, I think, contemporary. Or at least what I think it is, and also why I don't do it. Summer. I think that when it's the summer months, it is warm outside. You usually have tons of plans with friends because now the weather is actually great, so you can be outside. You can go do the shopping you always wanted to do because it's nice weather, and you can go do a bunch of things. At least that is how it is in Denmark. There's tons and tons and tons of things to do in the summer months. So I feel like a lot of people would find something a little bit easier to digest in terms of reading, and that is where the contemporaries come in. Of course, there are some contemporaries that are not that easily digestible, but these are not the contemporaries that I am talking about. I am talking about, my mom reads a lot of them, so like Sophia Kinsella and Jenny Colgan and stuff like that. If we're going YA, I would say I don't even know any. Maybe Jenny Han, is that her name? The To All the Boys I've Loved Before, that type of book. And I understand that. I completely understand, because I do it as well, but in a different way, because I'm apparently very set in my ways when it comes to fantasy, and I love that fantastical element. I can't completely let it go. This year, however, I do have a couple of contemporaries on my list, but normally what I would do is go for middle grades instead, and that is my summer easily digestible read. And I freaking love it. I imagine that that is why people tend to go for the contemporaries, because there's just so many things happening during the summer, and if you're lying on the beach, for example, and reading, you don't want to be too focused on a magical system or having something that you really, really have to understand, because at any point you would have to move, or maybe you want to take a break and go swimming, or maybe somebody says something to you and you get distracted. Summer, to me at least, is a time where you more easily get distracted or interrupted by spontaneous plans, people talking to you. If you're outside, maybe it will start raining. To me, the summer easy vibes that you have is because of that, because the summer is unpredictable and there is a million things going on all at once. So I understand why people would want something very easy and very digestible. As I said, I do the same, but normally in a different way. Let me eat some more cake. As I said, the summer is the time for fluffy romances, and I think we all just need something light and easy when all the summer plans and the heat and everything kind of hits us. So at least that is my interpretation of why we do that. I just find it kind of funny and interesting how one's reading taste and one's reading, like what you're interested in reading, it changes based on the season. And I don't know, I think it's fun. Next, I want to talk about Halloween and why we read spooky books. Halloween isn't that big a thing in Denmark, so I don't do it. It's usually only kids who celebrate Halloween in Denmark, and even so, they don't do it that much, because we do have a separate holiday, not holiday, but a separate thing similar to Halloween where we dress up, and that is in this, I actually don't know when it is. Sometime during the spring, and it's called Fastelavn, and basically we have a party where you dress up. It doesn't have to be spooky or anything, you can dress up as anything. And then we hit a barrel with a bat, and then as soon as it breaks, candy falls out, and if you're the one to break it, you're crowned king. Actually, if you're the one to break it but it doesn't fall down, you're crowned queen. If you're the one to get it like to fall down, you're crowned king. But because of that holiday, which is, I believe, traditional Danish, but because of that, and because that is such an old tradition in Denmark, Halloween hasn't taken as well over. The whole reading spooky books in October, for me, it's not so much because of Halloween. It's more so because of the vibes. Like, I feel like autumn is the perfect time to read spooky books, but it doesn't have to be October. It could be September. It could be November. I don't care. One or the other. That being said, I don't really read spooky books, so I don't do it. I do have a couple. No, I don't. I do have one currently that I am planning to read during autumn this year. So don't worry, Gemma, I will be reading Final Girl Support Group soon. Autumn. As someone who doesn't really do seasonal reads, I find it, as I said, very interesting how reading tastes change during the year. Like, my reading taste changes from day to day, but it's more so like, am I more in the mood for enemies to lovers or a found family? Am I in the mood for maybe a chosen one? I don't know. So it's more so plot-based and not so much genre-based when it comes to my mood reads. And therefore I can't really say that my reading is seasonally based, but I like the idea of it. It makes sense to me. And I wish I was more that person. Finally, I just want to talk a little bit about Christmas and Christmas related books. This is something that I've grown up on. I am a sucker for Christmas. I love Christmas, and my mom and I would always read these Christmas calendar books, as I've talked about before. It's very much I want to be careful. It is a Danish thing. I don't know if it is also a thing elsewhere, but I know that it is a Danish thing. You can find a lot of different ones. Last year I read Santa Claus's Death, but there is a bunch of other ones, and I already know which one I'm going to read this year. I just need to get my hands on it. Also, I have Midnight in Everwood that I want to read closer to Christmas because it is a retelling of, I think it was The Nutcracker, which is a Christmas story. When it comes to Christmas, I don't necessarily read exclusively Christmas books. For example, I don't read all of the Christmas contemporaries that are out. It's just not really my thing, but that is more because of the contemporary aspect and not so much of the Christmas one. I do, however, watch a lot of Christmas movies, and especially movies I've watched a million times. And especially those kind of B-flicks, like the Netflix movies, or the ones that you're like, but you know what's gonna happen. And I'm like, yes, and we like that. I always watch Love Actually. I also really like Last Christmas. Made me cry, and still does every single time. I do have a bunch of movies that I watch closer to Christmas. When it comes to books, I only have my Christmas calendar, and that is kind of like the most seasonal I get with my reading is definitely towards Christmas, but that is, I think it's because of my love for Christmas. I'm like, yes, let's incorporate it into my reading. I think I've talked enough for now, and I don't even know if what I've said have made any kind of sense or have been any kind of interesting to listen to. It is basically just me rambling about my opinions on seasonal reads. I love it. I wish I was more of a seasonal reader. I'm not, but maybe someday. Maybe someday I will be. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment telling me if you're a seasonal reader and maybe your patterns. Is there any seasons where you read like you normally would, or is it every single season has a different genre? Let me know. I would like to know. If you just want to let me know that you're here but don't know what to comment, you can always leave a green heart. If you like this video, please hit the like icon, and if you want to see more of my bookish content, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. And until I see you next time, bye!